What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk. Your host, Jack Emanuel Sr. Thank you guys for joining in. But before I introduce you to today's guest, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, make sure you hit that like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share this video. Today I got a special guest with me, the big guy I call him. He grew up in Riviera Beach, attended William T. Dwyer High School, also played at the Game Changers Academy, went on to play with Southwest Florida State, which at that time was rated, number top 10 in the country at that time. From there, he went to Enterprise in Alabama, and from there to Valdosta State University. I have none other than the big guy, Malik Hunt. Welcome, Malik, man. Thank you for joining me.
No problem. How you doing?
Oh, man, good, man, good. You know,
man,
so let's dive in. Let's do it. So, Malik, now you grew up in Riviera Beach.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So what was it like for you growing up in Riviera Beach? What was that like?
Riviera Beach is a rough place to be. Honestly, like walking down the street, it was very tough. You know, there's a lot of crime going on around here. Coming from a small place, it can be very rough at times. Mm-hmm. But it's the way, how you take yourself, how you like to, push yourself, become successful. Don't get me wrong, Riviera Beach is a nice place. They have the best beaches around here, and it's a very calm city. You just can't get yourself in the wrong place.
No, you attended William T. Dwyer High School.
Correct.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you never got a chance to actually play at William T. Dwyer High School. Is that correct, though?
Yes, I never got a chance since 10th grade year. I transferred from Inlet Grove at first. I played there for a little bit and started playing football. And I guess that wasn't the route for me at all. I got injured and I stopped playing. And then I, pursued basketball more. I was more interested in basketball, less injuries and stuff like that. But yeah, I never had a chance to play at William T. Dwyer. It was, I just couldn't get myself together at the time.
Okay, so now what were some of the challenges? I mean, because I met you was in the 10th grade. Mm-hmm. And I seen just the talent that you had, but it was like right. Untapped talent that needed to be guided and give it some structure. But what were some of the challenges that you had at William T. Dwyer? The reason why you couldn't play, or the reason why you didn't play?
Well, the school I came from was called Inlet Grove, and they had basically it was like their own business or whatever. They wasn't part of the Palm Beach School District. So when I transfer over from my 9th to my 10th grade year, none of my credits transfer over. So I was very, very behind in classes and stuff like that. So it was kind of tough for me to build up and things like that. Well, I would say probably the end of my 11th grade year, it started kind of coming along, but I was still missing things. So by my 12th grade year, I was trying to, I had time to start playing basketball, and everything kept affecting me. Just the transfers, the credit transfer really was a process. I kept falling through, and I was like, you know what? I don't think it's going to become what I wanted it to become. But I was hanging around a good crowd. They was helping me a lot, coming with grades and things like that. But I guess it came too late in the season for me to, become like just to achieve my goal. So I had a tough time trying to do that, trying to, you know, play catch up.
Oh, okay. So now I know you came over with Coach Sermon and I at Game Changers Academy, and you probably is one of the most talented guys that we've had at Game Changers Academy. And you came in that first year and you played real well. And I kind of remember the incident where you kind of, I wouldn't say it's an incident, I would say is this an opportunity that you kind of really blew up and everybody began to recognize, like, who is this guy? Who is Malik Hunt? And that's when we went to Orlando and you played in the showcase. And man, it's like you really like turned it on, you took it to another level. So when you had all these coaches, because I've seen all these coaches, they want to know who is you, who is this big guy? How did that make you feel? You know, coming from not playing at Dwyer, you know, not even being recognized. And then in this event, you got pretty much every coach in the gym want to know who you are. How was that? How did that make you feel?
It was a very exciting experience. I figured I was like, hey, I'm a kid coming out of Palm Beach County. And most people, they're not successful there. They're always getting gang related and stuff like that. But just coming in, you know, doing my thing. I just love the game of basketball. And I wanted to showcase saying that, hey, look, I did this. You know, I ain't never played high school basketball. And now I'm trying to set the trend of, you know, most kids, they can't pursue something, you know, don't give up. When I came in that showcase, I wanted to be dominant on every aspect. But on top of that, I had a very fun time. It was probably at least like 200, 300 kids, and I became at least like top 5 out of there. But I love it. If I could do it again, I would.
Now, as you look back on that, and you see what you was able to accomplish in such a short period of time, and then from that event, man, you had a lot of high major offers. You know, you had a lot of high major programs, like they were showing interest in you, and so, but the thing that held you back was the academic component.
Correct.
So as you look back on that, and maybe this can help some other young man who might be experiencing this and not taking academics seriously.
Right.
You know, what do you think, or what could you share with the audience, listening audience, of if you knew what you knew now, how you would approach your academics when you was in high school?
When I was in high school, I felt that I should have just, you know, attacked the course correctly. Stop playing around. I was like a lot of, you know, high schools are immature. I was definitely immature at the time. I wasn't even thinking about the future, what was ahead of me. I was just like, I just wanted to play around. I was being a class clown in class. I was just a goofy person. Instead of, sometimes I take my work serious, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I just goof off. Sometimes I pass the exam with A without studying. Sometimes I was like that. But when you come into high school and you trying to play basketball, like basically any sport, I think you should focus mainly on your grades, because you want to become, you know, you want to get interest, or, you know, get offered schools. You know, they look at that. You got to at least have like a 3.0 or higher if you want to go to school, to be honest with you. But I felt like I wasn't in the right headspace. I think I was hanging with the wrong crowd at the time. It was really tough at times to figure out what I wanted to do. And if you really thinking about honestly playing sports, like having your grades is a big thing, and you don't want to mess it up at all. I started figuring that out as I started getting older and maturing more. you can't, honestly, hearing from coaches, they say you can't go nowhere without your grades. That's so true. I lost a lot of big time offers without my grades. It just, not buckling down and, just staying mellow and humble myself.
So now, in spite of that, in spite of those challenges, in spite of that immaturity, you still had some opportunities. And like I mentioned earlier in my introduction, that you had an opportunity to play at Southwest Florida State. And at that time, they was like top 10 in the country when you talk about junior colleges. And so you still had some great opportunities in front of you. So kind of like share with us what happened with that opportunity at Southwest Florida State.
When I first came to Florida Southwestern, it was a brand new school, and I would say probably like 30, 50 years. It was called Edison College at one point. Brand new school, first team ever in Fort Myers, other than FGCU. I was still immature. Don't get me wrong, it was a great experience. Brand new gym, 2.5. I think it was like $2.5 million arena. We had celebrities, all types of schools coming through, NBA scouts, overseas scouts. It was a very exciting experience for me. I feel that I should have broke it down there too. But when I was there, I was a 6'8" big guard 1 through 5, and you don't see a lot of those, and around the world. And I was one of those guys, just learning, buckling down on defense, offense, stuff like that. But classroom, like I was saying, I wasn't buckling down as much as possible. But the exciting part was, competing. We was competing against the top ranked teams in the nation, I would say. I remember one of the schools was Daytona State that was ranked number 3 in the nation. And they had, I would say, probably like 7 or 8 high major D1 players that were ranked, I think, top 10, I think it was, top 10 or 20. And we beat them by like, I think 1 or 2 points. And I almost had a double-double that game. And I started getting a lot of recognition from everybody in the world, especially from University of Oregon at the time. And everyone was like, who is that kid? Who is that kid? And I started showcasing and practice what I could do. Locked down on defense, learning the plays, being smart IQ-wise, learning how to pass, shoot, stuff like that. And it was a humbling experience for me.
So now after your experience at Southwest Florida State, then you wound up at Enterprise Junior College in Alabama. So that had to be a huge culture difference from being on the west coast of Florida, close to beaches, and then going to Alabama, a small town. So what was that transition like for you?
That transition was crazy. Just leaving that place. It was like, what did I just get myself into at first? And Enterprise, it sounded like a car dealership. Don't get me wrong. I was like, I'm going to a car dealership for it. And I was like, just go with the flow. And as I went, I humbled myself and I was like, you know what, just ball out. Just looking at the culture difference, it's a lot of land in Alabama. So, it's quiet over there. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really do much. Other than when I was in my freshman year, but I didn't really do much when I touched Alabama. It's just everyone talks different. It's a real strong accent. Everyone dresses different. everybody don't know what's a lot of things going on. Like I forgot what I talked to one of the people that was down there, and it was like I asked them about something. I forgot what it was, and it was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Y'all never heard of that?" And it was like, "Nah." I was like, "This is really a small place. Like, it's very, very small. It's if you look at the map, it's literally a circle, a small little circle, and everyone know each other in the town." I was like, I ain't never in my life seen nothing like that. It was a very amusing to me. I was like, y'all really don't get out a lot. They ain't never heard of Palm Beach. They never heard of Port St. Lucie. Only like the big city like Miami they heard, but they never been because it's so far apart. But just like listening and hearing, I mean, just listening and seeing what the culture is, they don't, like mostly people, they'll say, oh, it's horses and stuff. Nah, it's just a huge land and people talk different. That's it. But it's nothing bad about Alabama. It was just, for me, it was boring because I'm a city person.
Oh, okay. So now Enterprise, then later after you played like 1 year Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
And now you get this offer from Valdosta State. Actually, that's, I'm alumni of Valdosta State. I played there. So I was really happy, because of our relationship, and you like a son to me. I was like happy. So I'm like, oh, I got a reason to visit Valdosta on a regular basis because, to come there and see you play.
Right.
And so now you get to Valdosta, bigger school, student body. I think Valdosta at that time, you was there, around 12,000 kids at that time?
Yeah, like 12,500.
Okay. And so I know what it was like, because for me, when I was there, it was kind of party atmosphere for me.
Yeah.
And, so a lot of nice looking young ladies and stuff. So I know some of the challenges you have when it comes down to partying and doing those kind of things. So how was it when you came from Enterprise and then you go to Valdosta State? How was that?
This shit was crazy. Like I was so amused as like, wow, this is what college really looks like. I thought college was more like just chill and stuff like that. And I was like, I can vibe with that. When I transitioned to Valdosta State, it was more like you have to stay focused. If you don't, you will slip up real bad. And when I went there, lucky I went there during the COVID. I went there during the COVID time. The COVID, everyone was basically inside. I'm highly glad that I did that. I went there during that time. But college is more like a party. You get to meet a lot of people there. I realized that. And it's sometimes people see you more than you see them. So playing basketball, I was very under the radar. I didn't like to go out a lot, but a lot of people knew me for some reason. Just because you play a sport, mainly basketball or football, but me just playing basketball, everyone was like, "Oh, I know him," or "Oh, we used to do that." I'm like, "Nah." I ain't never like to get in situations like that. But me and my teammates used to like to go out like a lot. We stopped doing that in the beginning of the year, so we just cracked down and stuff like that on the team, just so we can get used to the team a lot. And I feel that experience, it was very highly like different. I never knew that certain things like going to a bar or whatever, you get to meet a lot of people. When I remember last time I went to just a little chill little bar, and I didn't I ain't like to drink. So, but I just like to play pool and stuff like that. I met one kid. I didn't know he was a multi-millionaire, and he was probably like a year younger than me at the time. Met him, and he had his own business. I was like, man, what do you do? He was like, bro, I own my own business. Man. I'm making at least 2.5 mil like every 9 months. I'm like, 9 months? That's a lot. Like, but just going out, just meeting people. And I started picking that up when I came back home. I was like, you know what, let me just go and, visit certain places and see, it's just social meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And I started meeting a lot of different people. Like if I were to go to like Root Chris, or if I were to go to Restoration Hardware, it's a restaurant in Palm Beach, I get to meet certain people, like a lot of billionaires and millionaires and stuff like that. So
Okay.
that's how I got so social and, everyday basis, just speaking up and, getting advice or linking with some people that's just good people, that can put me in the right places.
So
So
now Malik, looking at from a basketball system standpoint,
mm-hmm.
now when you was with Game Changers, when you was with us, mm-hmm. we highlighted the big. I mean, you was a focal point of what we did offensively as well as defensively. Mm-hmm. You go to Southwest Florida State, and they focus a lot on their bigs, getting them involved and stuff like that. Right. Now you go to Enterprise, and I actually had a chance to see you play at this showcase that was sponsored by Scott Golden. Mm-hmm. And you played real well. And actually, while I was there, if I'm not mistaken, I remember talking with a coach from either Arkansas State, mm-hmm. and he was really interested in you. So now you come from 3 different programs that really highlight and put their focus on the big. Mm-hmm. Now you go to Valdosta State. Now Valdosta State, they got a 4-guard play. Correct. Right? And their focus is on the guard play, mm-hmm. perimeter play. So what kind of adjustment was that for you?
It was difficult. I talked with a lot of people trying to figure out what should I do. It was mainly an all guard predominant school, and I couldn't just figure out. And I just knew that, most bigs, they just grab rebounds, put it back up. And I was a versatile big. Like I could stretch, I could do everything, but I never got that chance to showcase my talent. Everything was like, hey, if my guards shoot or they dribble, they go for lay, they miss it, I want you to grab and put it back up, which is not hard at all. And it was just like, this is your role. You're gonna do this, and we're gonna need you at certain times. I was like, dang, man, like what I'm here for, at times. Just don't get me wrong, the school is a good school, but me specifically, I couldn't, adjust to that. Like I ain't never got the ball as I wanted. Looking at people over dribble sometimes. We shot 506 threes out that year. And 506 threes is that's like Stephen Curry numbers. And well, don't get me wrong, we was a fast team, but I couldn't adjust to that at all. Like it wasn't for me. I couldn't showcase my talent. We would just shoot every time come down. It was like a running gun shoot, over dribbling, everyone standing in one place. I didn't really like that style of play because I'm not a guard. Like I can't do what they do there because they're more shorter than me.
Okay.
But it was just different from, trying to adjust to things that your coach wants you to do every day. I was like, that's not me. I can't. And I just knew I wasn't going to get far if I kept doing that same thing.
So Now you go to Valdosta State, new system, guard oriented, and now you have an injury.
Mhm.
You tear ACL. Now, was that your first ACL tear or your second?
That was when I was at Valdosta State. That was my second ACL tear.
Okay. So now you go through that, you enter your name in the portal,
Mhm.
and you leave Valdosta, but now you're still dealing with the injury.
Mhm.
And now you wind up at a small, NAIA school in
Yes.
Kentucky.
Mhm.
So what was that like? Just dealing with the injury and then going to a small school in Kentucky. What was that like for you?
I'm gonna be real honest. The reason why I love was like, just I wanted to focus mainly on just my injuries, just to get myself healthy. When I picked the school that had the best training facility, and shout out to Campbellsville University, a small school in Kentucky. They helped me out a lot. I had a trainer named Josh, very, very tough on me. He got me where I needed to be now, and I'm glad that where I'm at now, I could do anything I want. Don't get me wrong, that it was a terrible transition because I ended up gaining a lot of weight. I'm talking about a lot of weight. I touched 325 at one point. And I ain't even look big, but that weight, it was a lot on my knees. So just, sitting down when you're on the injury, because you can't really do much. You don't want to re-injure yourself. So I was sitting down watching films, or, I'm doing a lot of, one-on-ones with certain players. But just that environment, it was a small school, it was a small environment. It wasn't much to do there at all. So all thing I had to do was just focus. It took me from August to, I would say, in the middle of December, when it was time for winter break, for when students go home. It took me that long to get, in a short amount of span. It took me that long to get to where I need to be, and I was happy about it when I went there. And they have the number one 5-star training facility. They have literally everything there, and that helped me out a lot, like tremendously. But so far on that, just getting to where I need to be was a perfect decision. I feel like that was a good decision I ever made, but so far I didn't stay so long.
So now that, with all these things behind you, whether they was, somewhat were positive, somewhat wasn't, now you're moving on and now you're thinking about embarking on a professional career.
Correct.
So what are the things that you're doing now? Have you been in contact with an agent as far as someone to represent you? Are you training, getting in shape to try to embark on that professional career? So what are you doing now for the listening audience that want to know, what is Malik Hunt doing right now? So what are you doing now as far as moving on in your career as a basketball player?
I got myself in a situation with a lot of pros. We have like runs, just chatting up with them, and, a lot of trainers and stuff like that. Just connecting. It took me a while to get, network with certain people. Like I started getting network with a dude named Joe Shirley or something like that. He plays for the Hornets. I think it was the G League team, but he played with the Utah Jazz at one point. I started getting connected with him, started going to the pro runs, and I started cutting weight. I started shedding weight tremendously. At one point, when I was at 325, it started dropping down. I would say probably like a month. I was at like 270 for like a month. And I'm still trying to cut weight because I'm just trying to get a lot of, weight off my legs and stuff like that so I can be able to move and jump and do what I want. But just going to pro runs, they help me out a lot. It builds my game. I see things, IQ wise, and the trainers. It's a lot of trainers up north in North Florida now. That's why I went up to, and I like it a lot. But they help me out with agents. I was thinking about getting an agent, and I've been chatting up probably like 15 different agents, and I haven't picked one yet. But I would say it did me some justice for sure. It definitely did me some justice.
All right. Well, hey, Malik, man, I appreciate you, man, taking the time out your schedule.
No problem,
to
man.
sit down and have this conversation with me.
Sir.
And so we're gonna be watching you, and we want to see how things turn out. We understand some of the challenges that you had, but in spite of that, you went through it, and now you're moving forward, and now you have a great opportunity in front of you. So, hey, man, thank you for taking your time out once again, for sharing with us. Thank you for joining us on Let's Talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
And for all y'all who's tuning in, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And this is my big guy right here, none other than Malik Hunt. Thank you, Malik. Appreciate you.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me, man.